crazy
to
stuff
knock
after.
over someone's cabbages and ruin their day. I feel like a character has done that.
God, I wish cabbages were real.
I think we wanted to make them feel like real people with real emotions. Avatar: The Last Airbender is a fantasy world, so I think we really got to have fun in bringing all of the bending, all of the unique animals, and the environments to life.
Yeah, I think giving it a new level of emotion. In the OG, you can't really see as much emotion on a face like as you can in like real life. So it's like, it's fun to bring that to life as well and like build new layers into scenes that we already know and love, you know?
I think it kind of just happens naturally, like
Yeah.
with the way that the story is told, where we're having more relationships and getting to see like some of those like conversations and like building character on its own.
Yeah.
It's cool to like be able to be funny in a way that like real people would be funny and feel those real emotions of like what the characters are actually going through.
I mean, I think the visual effects, like I know I'm always talking about the visual effects, but like I think it's really gonna shock people. Like just seeing like such an amazing, iconic show brought to life.
The Fire Nation is embarked on a dark path, and the world might never recover. The world needs the Avatar. It needs you, Aang.
I felt like air when I was doing fight scenes. It's just really cool.
For Zuko's character, I felt the most in my element, probably on my boat with Uncle Iroh, traveling around to all the different islands, chasing after this guy over here. That was certainly the closest to fiery, banished Zuko prince I think it gets.
When we were going somewhere, like sitting on Appa or something like that, like those days just felt so comfortable and so like, so easy, you know, like that I really was like in my element.
That's what I was
with
gonna
the
say too,
Appa.
the Appa days.
Yeah.
Appa days where I was in my element. I was like, we had like a little setup up there, like we were all getting, we were like trapped together in like close quarters for the whole day because it's like
Literally.
takes like 15 minutes to get down from it.
Yeah.
So we're having our sibling rivalries and trying to go over lines and stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we all felt the most in our element when we were with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or for you guys. And then for me with Paul.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
we share the most scenes together.
Our nation has destroyed everything in their path. If the world is gonna have any chance, it's gonna need Aang.
Right. There goes the savior of the world.
There were certain things that I would see as we were going along that were like surprises, and like as a fan of the original show, like seeing these things come to life, like every time I got to see something new, I was like almost in tears because of just how incredible it was. So seeing Appa like pretty much life size and like furry and like the saddle and everything, it just took my breath away, you know?
I remember going into the stage for the first time seeing Appa, and they were like, yo, you want to see Appa? It just finished. And I was like, yes. And I like run over to the other stage and like run, slide. I'm like right in front of Appa, and he's like faceless and legless. And I was like, wait, this is so sick, but like, when is it done? He's like, no, it's done, it's done. Yeah, the rest is VFX. So I was like, it was awesome though, because then we got to write it, and they like wait, like as like, because obviously they're not gonna go like as hard as they possibly can like while shooting, but they like set me up. They were like, yo, we're gonna bring the stunt team out, and they like threw it as hard as they could.
Oh,
like,
that's right, because they don't actually move the camera during those scenes. They move.
They moved
Right,
Appa.
it's people like
pushing on
acting
the
like
sides.
we're flying.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so they
sick,
brought
yeah.
out like everyone. They were like, "Yo, we're gonna go to 10."
My experience was almost the same with Appa, where like They were like, come check out Appa, and it was only his like right leg. I was like, okay, hey.
The element I would want to bend, it's between water and earth. I want to say water, but it's hard because earth is so like, they're both competing. You
Or
know?
like air, you could like fly.
Oh, you can fly?
I have a glider. I want a glider.
I can do that, yeah.
If you really think about it, airbending could just be like telekinesis. I could just like airbend whatever I want to me, which probably wouldn't go well because, well, I'd take advantage of it, but it'd still be pretty fun.
You know, in
Right,
ways I
counts as
feel
an
like the Avatar, you know, in a lot of ways, just like all the elements, but I'm in the same boat. I feel like my serious answer, like a practical answer would be Earth. The whole elevator thing. Like,
I know.
where you can just like lift up and be like on a different story. But like the water's kind of the fun answer. Back in the pool,
Yeah, literally.
trying to water
You're like
bend.
a little kid,
You're like skimming the top of the water. That was lit, so
Yeah.
maybe water's the right answer. The thing that Sokka's unaware of is that he's like wants to be like so that guy, but he's like emotional. I'm the self-aware version of that. I like me in water. I feel like they're the goofiest low-key too. Like they're the most. They have the most fun.
Yeah.
I have the most fun with my wolf toe warriors.
Fire just looks the coolest. Like, let's be honest.
Where's
Have
the
you- and then
practicality,
Azula
though?
has blue flames. Bro, I just got like jetpacks on my feet and arms. Like, I gotta fly around. I can just, dude, it's fire. Did you never like, like spark a lighter and you were like trying to like low-key bend it?
No.
Or like by the stove. You know? The element that I think represents me the most in real life is fire. Similar to Zuko, I try to take a lot of things really seriously. And sometimes I'm not always the best at listening to people and the advice they're giving me because I'm so tunnel vision, sometimes too focused on what I'm doing. I wish like all of our characters had like a signature like move like a superhero and we like yell it out when we do it. Like Katara the water, water whip! I'm kidding.
Learning to bend, we did boot camp a month before we started filming. It was definitely intense and something I'd never experienced before, but I do think it helped me connect to my character because in the beginning of the show, she's still like learning how to bend and she really doesn't know that much about it. So it's like made me feel more connected to her as the series went along, and I got more comfortable with the movements, and like so did she, and it just felt so connected that way.
A lot of the stunt crew would refer to me as like an Energizer bunny at the time. So it was pretty easy for me to pick up what I had to do, and it was just really awesome because Aang is such a high energy character, and I could bring that into the show with stunts and training and all that with a ton of jelly beans and whatever sugar I could get my hands on.
He's also like already really naturally athletic and you pick up on things really fast.
Definitely.
Jelly beans help that.
I'd say my experience with bending was probably the most fun I've ever had on set. I got to collaborate here and there with the stunt team on some of the choreography, and then I also got to do everything myself. I'm glad that I was able to also help out Gordon during his fight scenes. And I think in a way, like during our fight specifically, it's crazy how much it relates to like real life where you were getting really good at your waterbending moves, and Zuko is like, I mean, he's not an expert firebender, but he knows how to fight, right? And so when we had first interacted, you were just a beginner, still figuring out the moves on Kyoshi Island. But then when we come to the Northern Water Tribe and we fight, I get my ass kicked. Whereas like in real life, but also like as a character, you grew. And then for me, I kind of plateaued and then got my ass kicked by you. And he was so pissed about it. The most difficult part for me is probably actually like reacting, like imagining the other benders attacking me and trying to evade them without making myself look goofy. Because you had to imagine all of these elements coming at you, and sometimes we didn't really know what that effect would look like, the size of it, and how much force would be behind that specific move.
Probably all the air stuff, just because the timing was so awkward for me.
Yeah.
Like, because it's very, like Taekwondo is just more like fire.
Yeah.
Or like similar to karate. Air was very like super fast and then like slow
down.
at the end, which is like the opposite of like what
Yeah.
my mind thinks of when like doing movement is
Yeah.
like slow and then fast at the end and then pull back.
Yeah, I guess with air is like the change of pace. That was like the most difficult part. To
Yes,
grasp.
yeah. Because it's really fast and then
Right.
slow.
And then you slow down. He got it down though.
He got
It's
it
like my
down.
favorite part though.
Yeah.
I think Gordon's probably the most like his character, but Dallas, you're probably the furthest because you're so kind and perfect and awesome. But you definitely have that dark, sexy side, you know, that Zuko has. So that's where you can relate.
Ian's like probably one of the funniest people I've ever met, so that's why I relate him so much to Sokka. This dude be like making me laugh, and I'm like actually doing an ab exercise
Hell
while it's
yeah.
happening. So,
You see those abs? You can thank me. Just kidding.
You don't have to do this alone. You have me, Tara, and a flying ball of fur. What more do you need?
Most likely to do like a crazy side quest and find a buried library. That sounds familiar.
I feel like
That-
I have an answer, but it's funny and it doesn't work.
oh boy.
I want to say my dad because he's not
Wait, that's a fact.
right.
Yeah, that's a fact,
No, because
actually.
every time we were filming, my dad's like exploring somewhere
Yes.
and he's like, you know, taking pictures. He's seeing stuff that I'm not seeing.
Yep.
He'll come back and have all these cool stories. And I'm like, where,
He's
how,
golfing.
when, you know?
Shout out Corey. I feel like every time I'd be on set, he'd be like, yo, did you see the like new set they built like yesterday? Like, I was like, what? Like, yeah, he's like, it's half done yet. And I walk in, I'm like, how have I not seen this? Literally. Who would accidentally hallucinate on cactus juice? Allegedly. I mean,
Accidentally is one way to put it.
yo.
I have to
knock
say some
over-
really crazy
Was to
stuff
knock over
after.
someone's cabbages and ruin their day. I feel like a character has done that.
God, I wish cabbages were real.
Who do you think?
Probably me, bruh. Like, if I'm being honest.
I feel like if you did though, you'd be like, oh my god,
it would,
I'm so
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. I'd probably
You know what I mean?
like
Yeah.
eat all the cabbages with them or something like afterwards,
Buy
just
them
for
all.
feeling bad.